This is an overview of the Claiborne Lock and Dam near Monroeville, Alabama. I'm on the other side of the river, and the repairs being carried out over on the locks on the other side. Lock and Dam here at Claiborne, looking at the upstream side, and you see the shorter gates. The metal wall right behind the open gates there is called a stop logs. They're the temporary dam that's used to stop the water. This is an overview of the Claiborne Lock and Dam. Looking now at the upper gates, which you can see here are opened. The metal wall right behind it there, across it, is a stop logs, which is a temporary dam used to hold the water back. The upper gates are, of course, shorter than the lower gates. As we move down here and look toward the other end, down here we see the lower gates. At this end down here. Notice, if you would, the stop logs at the far end as well to hold the water back. This is an overview of the Claiborne Lock and Dam from the roof of the gate of the lock house. You can see here we're looking at the shorter upper gates, which is on the upstream side of the lock. The wall across the middle right there is called a stop logs, the temporary dam used to stop the water for the applications. As we move down the length of the dam, or the lock here, we see at the far end the lower gates, which are again longer gates because of the water level difference. And again, notice, if you would, there's stop logs at that end as well. This is an overview of the Claiborne Lock and Dam. We're looking at the upstream or upper sets of gates, and here's one of the gates right here swung open. The vertical steel wall you see right there behind it is called the stop logs. It's put in place to hold the water as a dam while the lock is emptied out. And then, of course, as we move downstream in the lock, this is an overview of the Claiborne Lock and Dam from atop the lock house. Here we're looking at the upper gates, which are the shorter of the two sets of gates, and it's up on the upstream side. The metal wall right there behind it are called stop logs, and they're placed in there, of course, to stop the water and form a dam while the lock is being evacuated. And then as we move downstream, down to the lock, to the bottom end of the lock, the lower end of the blocks, we see down here the lower gates, which are a much taller set of gates. And of course, you can see the stop logs placed down there as well. This is a lower down shot of the same thing, taken from a lower angle, where you can see the gates a little bit more in detail. And again, we'll take another quick look at the lower gates. This is a close-up shot of the gate miter blocks. You can see right there in the edge. This particular ones are the concave, convex type. And as we look down the block, move on down, you begin to see deterioration, particularly as we move down into this area down here. You can see where the water has deteriorated the block over a period of time. This is one of the parts that are to be repaired. This particular application is being carried out at Claiborne Lock and Dam near Monroeville, Alabama, in south central Alabama. This is a shot from the lower block gates looking toward the upper gates. Here you can tell how much shorter the upper gates are than the lower gates by the difference of that concrete wall, which is approximately 30 feet thick. And as you can also see here, here's a close-up of all the dirt and silt that's built up over the years in the bottom of the lock. Once again, there's the upper blocks looking at it from the lower blocks, from the lower gates. This is a shot of the wall coin blocks. You can see it. To move in close, there it is embedded in the wall. You can't see the gate coin block because it's on the back side of the gate from here. But this is the first surface that this is what they're going to sandblast now.
I thought you had it hooked up, bud. You must have it stuck on there. I thought you put it on there, one hook. All right, let it back down then. I thought you had it hooked. I didn't know, man. I've seen so much depth.
Here's a close-up of one of the lower gates. You can sort of get an idea of the size of it by the man standing there. Back in the corners where they're fixing to do the sandblasting. These gates are approximately 60 feet tall.
Hey. All right, guys, go for a minute. All right, there for a minute. Got some sand in the bag. Where you on it? Hook. That's it right there.
Here's the sandblasting taking place. What you're looking at now is the Bondo has been applied to the gate coin blocks, and the worker is now sanding it off to get a smooth contour to give us the finish that we need then. Go ahead. What we're looking at now is the gate coin block. It's had the Bondo applied to it. It's been sanded, and it's going to be ready for application to the release agent just in a short while. As I mentioned in the explanation, you need to apply the Bondo and then contour it with a sander to just exactly the configuration that you want prior to applying the release agent. You really can't see the wall coin block, but it's right behind there. Just so you can appreciate it, this is the only way you can get into or out of a lock that's been dewatered. You have to climb all those stairs every time you want to go get something or need something. The man is now applying the Belzona release agent to the built-up Bondo surface. He's using a spray can to spray the Belzona release agent onto the surface, and then wiping a good thick coat on it with his hand. Now he's degreasing the wall coin block in the wall, applying a flood coat of a cleaner degreaser to make sure the sandblasted metal is perfectly free of any oils or residues, anything. Now you can see the lower edge of the wall coin block that he's fixing to degrease in just in a minute. All right, here's the mixing table where all the mixing will take place. There's going to be one man mixing for every man that's going up the wall. They'll mix right here, and then we'll pass it up on a little wooden platform to the men as they get in place in the gates in just a minute. All right, everybody's now starting to mix the material. You notice that they're using a back and forth mixing motion as opposed to stirring it. Stirring like a cake batter will put air in the mixture, so we're just mixing back and forth. Also, the base and the solidifier are two separate colors, so as long as you're mixing it and you see streaks in the material, it's not mixed completely yet. Okay, this man right here is, there you go, he's mixing it up and then layering it back over again, okay? We got one man mixing for every man that's up on the gate. You notice, if you would, the small little wooden quote, elevator unquote, that we'll use to put the mixing boards on the material and pass it up to the men on the gate. All right, there goes the first one now. It's going up on the little elevator.
We done this stuff about 3-4 months.
There you go.
We're being tight. You better reach that one? No problem. That's all that's wet in, you know. Better put it in, they got it made up.
All right, the men that are up on the wall are applying. There's one man about every 6 feet down the wall. And what they're doing is they're taking the Belzona and simply using a gloved hand and simply applying it by hand. They're of course going to put on a slight excess so that there'll be enough in there to squeeze out the excess when the gate shuts.
Yeah, I need one.
Come out, Harry.
All right, right behind you, bud.
You got 4 up there now. The 5th one is being mixed.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, the gate's just been opened up now to reveal the formed surface. And unfortunately, when you don't get the material on thick enough to get a excess squeeze out, you get places like this that are low. They didn't actually fill the void. So what we'll go in now, right now, and do is mix up some more ceramic R-metal and apply it over those areas, and then go back in and form that up. You can see the areas that formed good, but you can also see the cracks where there wasn't enough material there. So we'll reform this right now and then take a look at it when it's finished.
Get out of the way, Rob.
Okay, I'm trying to shut it off. Here we go. All right, and here's the wall coin block now. It's been completely finished. This is a successful now application after with the material that was slightly less. All right, this is the wall coin block now that's been completely finished now. As we look up it, you can see the application to it. All right, here's a completed wall coin block. You can see there that the only thing we were concerned with building up was just the concave face of the block.
My pants.
All right, gate's closing now. Not a very fast moving gate, but it does get the job done, so.
See the balls right here?
All right, now I'm gonna switch to the wall coin block, and let's see what kind of excess material squeezes out as it closes.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Okay. Do me a favor.
Hey.
Do me a favor. All right, let's moving into the wall.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
All right, it's getting close to closing now. You can see the excess is starting to ooze out now. This is what you want for a successful application. You need enough excess material so that the excess squeezes out and gives you a good solid facing after the gate's opened up later.
Let me go back.
Here's the excess, some of the excess being trimmed off right now.
See that?
Come along now to hold the gate shut while the material cures. Gate we just closed on the downstream side now, but again you can see the excess is squeezing out, which is exactly what we want all the way up, just like that. This will be a perfect application. All right, here's the come along. It's attached to the edge of the gate here, and the purpose of hooking the come along to the gate is to simulate the water pressure that would be exerted against the gate if the lock were full. So that's just to hold it shut and to simulate the water pressure against the gate. Water, of course, would be on the left-hand side. Real close-up look of one of the gate miter blocks, the blocks in the middle. It's been bondoed and it's ready. It's got the wax applied and we're ready for the application to the other block on the other side. And here's the other side. This is the concave surface over here. It's been sandblasted and ready to go. Sir. Gate miter block. This is the one that's slightly concave. It's been sandblasted, degrazed, and it's ready for the application of the Belzona 1311. Gate miter block. This one is slightly concave in configuration, and you can see it's been sandblasted and it's been degrazed and it's now ready for the application of the Belzona 1311. The other gate miter block, as you can see, this one is slightly concave, whereas the other one was convex. This has been sandblasted and degreased, and is now ready for the application of the Belzona 1311. All right, here you see the Belzona 1311 being applied by hand. This is just prior to closing the gates and forming it. There he is, putting it on by hand, just rubbing it up in there to make it a good thick coating enough to cover it. Okay, here's the two gates going to miter now.
Don't pull it yet.
Okay, they're on both ends.
All right, pull them.
Notice the gap is there left, and as they apply the come-alongs and the pressure on the back, it'll pull shut and tight.
Pull them, Jack. Yeah, give me that thing you got, Jack. Did you hit the road? Yeah.
All right, as they apply the pressure with the come-alongs and pull the gates tight, the crack that was there has disappeared, and now you start to see the excess material starting to squeeze out.
That's all he's got. Still got a gap.
Here is an actual cross-sectional piece of a new block. It's not quite as deep as the full block is, and of course the handle has been cut out in there was simply so this could be used as a forming tool. But you can see the face of the block is concave here, and the block on the other side is just like it, only it's convex, so that the two surfaces meet together. There's a quarter laying beside it for comparison purposes. Alright, the metal piece at the top you see with a hole in it is an actual cross section of a new block, piece of new block. The handle, of course, was cut so that the piece could be used as a former. which you can see the concave surface of the material, and the piece of wood right below it illustrates the convex surface of the corresponding other piece of block, which I don't have an actual one handy. But this is how the two surfaces mate in this configuration. As you can see from this shot right here, when the gates are fully closed, they do not lie flat but form a slight V, with the point of the V pointing toward the upstream end. This way the water pressure helps to hold the gates closed when they're in the mitered position. Here's a shot of the mixing table, all set up, ready to mix. We'll all start mixing together when they're ready to start making the application. All right, here's the Belzona being applied to the miter block now. The other side of the miter block has been waxed and ready to close on it in just in a minute. Alright, and here's the riverside gate going to miter now, and it meets the land side gate, and the two will go ahead and close in together.
Okay, stop. Bring your land gate in, forward miter. Bring your river gate in toward mine. Alright, stop. Bring your land toward mine. Okay, stop. Carry them both to mine.
Alright, here we go. They're lined up and they're both going to go to miter at the same time.
Get off the pressure.
Notice that you can still see a gap in there right now. They're attached to come-alongs on the other side. They're going to start to pull them shut now. Notice as they begin to pull together, you can start to see the excess squeezing out.
Pull the rubber gate back.
There's a big excess right there, but that's where the area where we had the biggest gap. Alright, now they're cutting the excess out to squeeze off, because they're cutting that out of there right now while it's still pliable, so there won't be so much to grind off after the material is set up. Here we see the gates have both been closed as the miter block is being repaired. And down at the bottom you can see here where the two come-alongs have been attached. Those two of course simulate the water pressure that is applied to the gate when the gates are shut. You can also see in the middle there the excess Belzona has been scraped off the edge as it squeezed out the edges. And here we have a shot of Tent City. This is the area that's set up for the R&D maintenance crew to work out of the trailer, brake area on the tent, and all this is just set up right here at one edge of the locking dam. Here's a synopsis of the steps needed to perform the here's an outline of the steps needed to repair the blocks on a locking dam with using Belzona. First step is to sandblast the gate and wall coin blocks. Next, you build up the gate coin blocks with Bondo, allow it to cure, and then sand it to the desired contour. Apply a paste grade car wax into the Bondo. Then you degrease the wall coin block by flood coating it with a residue-free cleaner. Build up the block face with Belzona 1311, which is ceramic R-metal, applying an excess amount. Next, you close the gate and allow the Belzona 1311 to cure. Now be sure to cut the excess that's squeezed out away while the material is still soft. Then you open the gate and sandblast the Bondo off of the gate coin block. Grind the excess Belzona 1311 off the wall coin block edges. Then you apply a place grade car wax to the cured Belzona 1311 on the wall coin block. Next, you degrease the gate coin block by flood coating it also with residue-free cleaner, and build up this block face with the Belzona 1311, again applying the excess amount. Close the gate and allow the Belzona 1311 to cure. Again, be sure to cut away the excess it's squeezed out while the material is still soft. And then last, you open the gate and grind off the excess Belzona 1311 on the gate block edges. After you've done this, you repeat these 10 steps on the other set of coin blocks, and then repeat the same 10 steps on the gate miter blocks.